Listen carefully. This isn't just a video. This is a mirror. And right now, you're seeing a version of yourself you've avoided for a long time. You didn't click on this by accident. You didn't stumble here because of an algorithm glitch. This video appeared in front of you precisely in the moment when your soul whispered, enough, not enough of pretending, enough of shrinking, enough of carrying a life that doesn't fit anymore. You feel it, don't you? That strange heaviness in your chest, that quiet dissatisfaction that shows up when you're alone, that ache that whispers, you're meant for more. And yet, every time you get close to change, something pulls you back. Fear, comfort, old habits, old wounds that convinced you staying small was safer than expanding. But not right now. Right now, you're standing on the exact edge that most people never reach. Not because they aren't capable of becoming more, but because when they reach this threshold, when they feel what you're feeling right now, they run. They retreat into old patterns and old identities. They choose the pain they know over the possibility they don't. But you didn't. You are still here, still listening, still breathing through the discomfort instead of escaping it. That tells me something about you. It tells me that the person you have been is no longer strong enough to hold the person you're becoming. Your old self is dissolving. Not metaphorically, not slowly. Now, that's the pressure you feel. That restlessness, that sense that you don't recognize your own life anymore. It's not confusion. It's not depression. It's not lack of motivation. It's a funeral. The death of a version of you that kept you alive, but cannot take you any further. You can try to ignore it. You can try to outrun it. You can try to numb it, but you can't go back. Even if you tried, you don't fit in that old life anymore. You've already outgrown the cage. That's why the walls feel tighter. That's why the routines feel suffocating. That's why the old goals don't excite you anymore. You're not lazy. You're evolving. You are shedding a version of yourself who lived in survival mode. The you who tolerated disrespect. The you who kept quiet to avoid conflict. The you who allowed your boundaries to be violated because you confused approval with love. That version of you is collapsing. And right now, your body is grieving their death, which is why it feels heavy, why you feel tired, why you feel like you're floating between two worlds. Because you are. You are no longer the person you used to be. But you're not yet the person you are becoming. You're in the in-between, the most misunderstood phase of transformation. The void, the space where the old self is gone, but the new one hasn't fully emerged. This is where most people panic. This is where they sabotage. This is where they reach for their old life, old relationships, old habits, old distractions, not because they want them, but because they miss the illusion of certainty. You don't miss who you were. You miss how predictable that version felt. Your old self had a script. They knew what to expect, even if it hurt. The new you has no script. No map, no blueprint. Just the calling inside your chest that whispers, keep going. Don't run back to who you were just because that version of you knew how to survive. You're learning how to live. You've never been here before. Your nervous system is used to chaos disguised as normal, pain disguised as comfort, emptiness disguised as peace. So now, when you finally start choosing peace, your body thinks something is wrong. That's not resistance. That's reprogramming. Your mind isn't fighting change, it's fighting unfamiliarity. You've worn the same internal costume for so long that the world convinced you it was your skin. You carried beliefs that weren't yours. You carried expectations you never agreed to. You carried identities that were assigned to you by family, by culture, by fear. And now those identities are cracking. And you're terrified because you've never met the version of yourself that exists without pain as your compass. But hear this. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to stop abandoning the real you. You are not broken. You are breaking free. Your old self was made of defense, mechanisms, walls, armor, masks. You built them because you needed them. When you weren't seen, you learned to hide. When you weren't heard, you learned to silence yourself. When you weren't valued, you learned to overperform. You did what you had to do to survive. But surviving isn't the mission anymore. Living is. There is a version of you underneath everything you've been carrying. A version untouched by rejection, untouched by trauma, untouched by the world's opinions. That version is pure. That version is powerful. That version is you. And they are waiting for you to finally stop fighting for the life you've outgrown. Every time you say, I can't leave, I can't change, I can't start over. That's not your future speaking. That's your old self begging not to die. Let it. Let the old self crumble. Let the old story expire. Let the old wounds rest. You are not losing anything. You are making space for everything. But here's the part no one tells you. To become the new you, you have to disappoint the old world. You'll outgrow friendships that only function when you stay small. You'll lose relationships that relied on your silence. You'll stop settling for what you used to tolerate. Because the new you refuses to shrink for comfort. People will say you changed. They'll say you're different. They'll try to pull you back to who you were not, because they love you, but because your evolution triggers their stagnation, and your old self will feel guilty. But your new self will feel free. Let me tell you something sacred. You are not responsible for staying the same version of yourself that others are comfortable with. You don't owe consistency to people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. You don't owe your future to your past. So when the guilt comes, let it pass. When the fear comes, let it be there. When the loneliness arrives, welcome it. Loneliness isn't proof that you're on the wrong path. It's proof that you're no longer holding on to what was wrong for you. Silence isn't emptiness. It's space. Space for the real you to finally breathe. And yes, transformation hurts. It's supposed to. Growth isn't comfortable. Comfort isn't growth. You're not supposed to feel ready. You're supposed to feel willing. Willing to lose what's familiar. Willing to trust what's uncertain. Willing to walk into the unknown without proof, without guarantees. Because here's the part that will change your life. Your future isn't waiting for you. It's created by you. Not by thinking, not by wishing, by letting go. Let go of the identity built on pain. Let go of the narrative that you're not enough. Let go of the programmed belief that suffering is noble. The old self is not dying because you're failing. The old self is dying because you're finally succeeding. You woke up. You stopped sleepwalking through your own life. You stopped pretending you were fine. You started questioning everything the world told you. You looked your pain in the face. And instead of collapsing, you expanded. You are not fragile. You are molten. You are being reshaped. Your old self was built by circumstances. Your new self will be built by choice. Choice is power. Choose the life you want, not the one you inherited. Choose the self you want, not the one you were conditioned into becoming. Now listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you will either liberate you or terrify you, depending on how ready you are to hear it. The person you've been pretending to be, they never existed. Not really. That version was a composite, a collage of everyone else's expectations. Your parents' dreams that became your obligations. Your society's definitions of success that became your prison. Your past failures that became your identity. You've been living someone else's autobiography and wondering why the chapters don't feel like yours. But here's what's happening right now. In this very moment, your true self is staging a rebellion. That discomfort you feel? That's not anxiety. That's awakening. Your soul is rejecting the costume. Your spirit is refusing to play the role anymore. And the most beautiful, terrifying part? You can't stop it. You can delay it. You can resist it. You can numb yourself to it. But you cannot reverse it. Once you see the cage, you can never unsee it. Once you taste freedom, even just a glimpse of it, you can never fully return to captivity. That's why you're here. That's why this moment found you. Because somewhere deep inside, you already made a decision. You already chose. Your conscious mind just hasn't caught up yet. Think about it. How many times in the past few months have you caught yourself staring into space, feeling like a stranger in your own life? How many times have you gone through the motions, smiled when you were supposed to smile, laughed when you were supposed to laugh, but felt absolutely nothing inside? That wasn't numbness. That was your soul preparing for departure. That was the old you packing their bags, getting ready to leave. And you know what the hardest part is? The people closest to you won't understand. They can't, because they're still living in the version of reality where you played your part perfectly, where you were predictable, where you were safe. Your transformation threatens their comfort. Your growth exposes their stagnation. Your courage reveals their fear. So they'll say things like, "You're overthinking this. You're being too sensitive. You're going through a phase. Just be grateful for what you have." But here's what they're really saying. Please don't change, because your change requires me to look at myself. And I'm not ready for that. Your evolution is a mirror they don't want to look into. So let me be clear. The moment you commit to becoming who you really are, you will lose people. Not because you're doing anything wrong. Not because you're being selfish. But because some relationships were only designed to exist while you stayed small. Some people loved the version of you that needed them. They loved the version of you that asked for permission. They loved the version of you that doubted yourself, because it made them feel important, needed, superior. The real you, the powerful you, the certain you, the unapologetic you, they don't know what to do with that person. So they'll try to guilt you back into the old version. They'll weaponize your compassion. They'll use your history together as leverage. And here's where most people break. Here's where most people turn around and run back. Because they confuse loyalty with self-abandonment. They confuse love with self-sacrifice. But you need to understand something. Staying small to make others comfortable is not love. It's self-betrayal. And self-betrayal is the slowest, most painful form of suicide. So when they say you've changed, smile and say, "Thank you." Because change isn't the problem. Stagnation is. Change means you're alive. Change means you're growing. Change means you're finally choosing yourself. And yes, it will feel selfish at first. Because you've spent so long putting everyone else first, that choosing yourself feels like a crime. But let me reframe that for you. You are not being selfish. You are being self-full. You are filling yourself up with the love, respect, and energy you've been giving away for free. You are reclaiming the power you didn't even know you gave away. And here's the truth nobody tells you about transformation. It's not a one-time event. It's a series of small deaths and rebirths. Every time you set a boundary, a part of the old you dies. Every time you speak your truth, a part of the old you dies. Every time you choose your peace over someone else's comfort, a part of the old you dies. And it never stops feeling uncomfortable. But it does start feeling right. Because discomfort is not a sign you're on the wrong path. Discomfort is a sign you're on a new path. And new always feels unstable before it feels natural. Think about a caterpillar in a cocoon. If you cut open that cocoon to help the butterfly emerge, it will die. Because the struggle to break free is what strengthens its wings. The pressure is what prepares it for flight. You are in your cocoon right now. And the pressure you feel? That's not breaking you. That's building you. Every moment of discomfort is your wings getting stronger. Every moment of uncertainty is your vision getting clearer. Every moment of loneliness is your soul getting lighter, because you're shedding weight. The weight of other people's opinions, the weight of outdated beliefs, the weight of a life that was never meant for you. And I know it's scary. I know you want guarantees. I know you want someone to tell you that everything will work out exactly as you hope. But life doesn't work that way. Transformation doesn't come with a safety net. Growth doesn't come with a preview. You have to jump without knowing where you'll land. You have to let go without knowing what you'll hold next. You have to trust the fall. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop trying to control the outcome is the moment everything starts falling into place, because control is an illusion. Control is the old you trying to survive. But the new you doesn't need control. The new you trusts the process. The new you understands that sometimes things fall apart so better things can fall together. That sometimes you lose people so you can find yourself. That sometimes the path forward requires burning the bridge behind you. So burn it. Burn the bridge to your old life. Burn the bridge to your old self. Burn the bridge to the person you were before you knew better. And when people ask why you're so different, why you're so distant, why you're not the same person anymore, don't explain yourself. Don't justify your growth. Don't apologize for your evolution. Just say, I'm not the same person because I'm not supposed to be. Because staying the same in a changing world is not stability. It's stagnation. It's death in slow motion. You are not meant to be a museum of your past. You are meant to be a masterpiece in progress. And masterpieces are not created by playing it safe. They're created by taking risks, by making bold strokes, by trusting the artist's hand, even when the vision isn't clear yet. You are the artist. Your life is the canvas. And right now, you're in the messy middle, where nothing looks like it's supposed to, where everything feels chaotic, where you question every stroke you've made. But step back. Step back and see the bigger picture. See how every experience, every pain, every loss was preparing you for this moment. See how everything that broke you was actually breaking you open. See how everything you lost was actually making space for what you're about to gain. You are not lost. You are being found. You are not falling apart. You are falling into place. You are not ending. You are beginning. And this beginning requires an ending. A conscious, intentional ending. A sacred goodbye to the person who brought you this far, but cannot take you any further. So take a moment. Right now. Close your eyes if you need to. And say goodbye. Goodbye to the version of you who thought love meant losing yourself. Goodbye to the version of you who thought peace meant avoiding conflict. Goodbye to the version of you who thought success meant meeting everyone's expectations except your own. Goodbye to the you who apologized for existing. Goodbye to the you who dimmed your light to avoid making others uncomfortable. Goodbye to the you who waited for permission to live. That version of you was beautiful. That version of you was necessary. That version of you survived everything you needed to survive. But that version of you is complete. Their chapter is over. Their purpose is fulfilled. And now it's time for the real you to emerge. The you that's been waiting in the wings. The you that's been whispering in your dreams. The you that you've always known existed, but were too afraid to become. That you is bold. That you is free. That you doesn't ask, they declare. That you doesn't wait, they create. That you doesn't shrink, they expand. That you is ready. And the only question left is, are you ready to let them out? Are you ready to stop negotiating with your past? Are you ready to stop explaining yourself to people who were never meant to understand you? Are you ready to step fully into the life that's been calling you? Because I promise you this, on the other side of this death is a life more beautiful than anything you've ever imagined. On the other side of this fear is a freedom more profound than anything you've ever experienced. On the other side of this ending is a beginning that will make every struggle worth it. But you have to choose it. You have to commit to it. You have to decide right here, right now, that the old you ends today, not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you feel ready, today, because you will never feel ready. Readiness is not a feeling. Readiness is a decision, So decide. Decide that you are done living in the past. Decide that you are done carrying stories that don't serve you. Decide that you are done being anyone other than exactly who you are. The world doesn't need another version of someone else. The world needs the original version of you. The uncensored, unfiltered, unapologetic version of you. And that version is standing at the door, waiting for you to finally let them in, So open the door. Let the old you leave. Let the new you enter. Let the transformation complete itself. This is your moment. This is your death. This is your rebirth. And I promise you, years from now, you will look back at this exact moment and realize this was the moment everything changed. This was the moment I chose myself. This was the moment I finally came alive. If something inside you shifted while watching this, if you felt this message in your soul, go to the comments right now and type 4 words. I choose my future. Not tomorrow. Not someday. No, because the world doesn't need the old version of you. The world needs the real you. The whole you. The you that's been waiting to emerge. You are not ending. You are becoming. And who you're becoming is worth every uncomfortable moment of this transformation. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to your true self. Welcome home.